Welcome to Conscious Living Collective, transformative journey in consciousness with community of like-minded people. My name is Tomek. I'm a scientist and a teacher here on Insight Timer. In this live session, we blend the latest in scientific research, the wisdom of mindfulness, and the art of fulfilled living. As always, this is an invitation for you to have your own first-hand direct experience and emerge on the other side with renewed sense of purpose and well-being. Hello and welcome to Monday, or for some of you, Sunday evening session of Conscious Living Collective. We meet here every day, and every time we meet, I want to acknowledge your presence because it's a collective. So let me start, but those of you who hold the space for me has been holding space for me for so long. Hello, Anne. Hello, Austin. Hello, Parvane. Very good to see you here. I want to acknowledge the regulars. Hello, Gwendolyn. Hello, Anne. And newbies. Nicole, very good to see you here. I hope you will enjoy the session. For those of you who are joining for the first time, I always have a little intro that consists of me saying that the session of Conscious Living Collective has two components. One is when we interact, I'm talking, you type in comments, I'm talking on a topic, and you reflect on what I say, and I reflect on what you say. And the second part is where we jump together into meditation. And both parts inform each other. The session is designed to give you I'm an intellectual and academic, and I like my intellectual part, but intellectual part is never enough. The experiential part, I dare say, is the meat of the session. However, the meditation or experiential part would not be the same without the intellectual background that is provided by my mind and all the information I collected throughout many years of my life. And now I'm sifting them through to you in a way that I hope you find beneficial to your well-being. Because we talk about conscious living and conscious well-being. And today I want to start by saying, and I'm very glad to all of you who decided to join here, because it's the beginning of the 6-session series that I want to reflect back upon the course I created a couple of years ago that it's called 6 Pillars of Conscious Living, that as a matter of fact inspired the creation of Conscious Living Collective. And I know that many of you are here that have taken this course. And I thought enough time has passed that I want myself to reflect back on 6 pillars of conscious living, which I find very fundamental to my everyday well-being. So everything I'm going to say, nothing of it is original. Nothing of it is what I came up with myself. But as with your life, and with my teachings, I am giving you a certain view on the knowledge that is already out there, perhaps helping you to remember certain things that you have forgotten about, as I did within the aspects of 6 pillars of conscious living. I'll be honest with you, I do not think specifically about 6 pillars and how I implement them every single day. So it is also an opportunity for me to remember a bit of what I wanted to say. And interesting enough, when I was preparing to this session, I have already noticed that since the creation of this course, I have already adjusted and changed and learned and evolved from when I was creating this course. So this is my way. Rather than re-recording the sessions, I'd rather speak to you. And I hope that you find it beneficial. Okay, hello Joey. Falkland Islands. That's a very cool place to be, I must say. I mean, from my perspective, you live there, so maybe for you, you take it for granted. But Falkland Islands, that sounds phenomenal. Hello, Robin. So within 6 pillars of conscious living, feel free. I'm just gonna put that for you, that Insight Timer allows me to place a postcard for you, which is basically what I'm talking about. So for those of you who are interested, you can check this out. essentially is my roadmap, if you will, to 6 fundamental aspects that allow me to express my awareness. And the first pillar I will describe it. I divided them in 2 sections. The first 3 pillars consider our physical life, and the remaining 3 pillars, as I call it, they more of the mental nature. However, all pillars work together. There's no one without the other. And the metaphor here is very simple. Even if you have a one strong pillar upholding your house, and one pillar is phenomenal, but other one is a bit weaker and it's lacking, the whole structure has a chance of collapsing. So what we are doing here, and today in the first pillar, which is movement, I will try to present to you and allow you to reflect what aspects in your life perhaps could require some work, or simply what aspects in your life you don't remember fully of in your daily life. And this will act also as a reminder to myself. I will take that card off right now. And today, mostly I want to share things that has changed for me in terms of understanding of the pillars of conscious living. And the first one is movement. And I wanted to create a session that gives me a perspective of how I've been treating exercise in my life. Being an active person, I love playing, I love swimming, I love surfing, I love playing beach volleyball. My nature always was that of an active person, but this is specific to me. What it wasn't, or has been not part of my life for vast majority of my life, was the understanding why movement of your body is so important. And now, by the simple raise of your hand, let me know how many of you walk or exercise or do any form of movement on a daily basis. I'd be curious to know. Feel free to simply raise your hand or simply say what is your favorite way of moving your body. Six, 7 miles a day walking, Parvane. And Austin, nature walking, kayaking, hiking, yoga. For Joey is running and walking. For Robin is a swim. Wonderful. So as I mentioned, for me, that's surfing. I live on the east coast of Australia, which is very known for fantastic surf. And I picked it up actually quite late. But I enjoy it tremendously, mostly through the connection with water. I go to the beach most of the mornings, either playing with my friends, beach volleyball, or otherwise just enjoying the ocean. And what I have noticed in our popular culture, movement and exercise actually became very important. But I dare say that it became popular and important for the wrong reason. And the main reason, when you look at media, when you look at world around you, when you look at those beach goers that are plentiful here, who tend to run and walk without their shirts, is mostly for the reason of aesthetics. Because we created a world around us that is obsessed with aesthetics, with the external view of how we look. And why are we doing it? Because we're translating the physical appearance into our well-being. There is a direct link that, quite frankly, a multi-billion-dollar business is based on that, creating that connection, that the looks translates into your fulfillment and into your happiness and into your joy and so on and so forth. And so there is this connection in our society that makes the better you look, the better you feel. And I want to challenge that assumption today and actually say to you that for me as a scientist is very important. That regardless of how you look, way more important movement happens underneath the surface. I studied biochemistry at school and did my Ph.D. in chemistry, and I'm very much aware of this tremendous machinery that happens in every single cell of your body and the movement that happens whether you exercise or not. So that's why I want to present to you and ask the question in the title of our session: what is if movement and exercise are really the same thing? And where we exercise, we certainly move. But the movement, what I want to present to you, the movement happens within your body regardless of whether you exercise or not. And the initial component, the most important component that actually, even though the modern culture tried to give to us that idea that the better you look, the better you feel, sometimes, most of the time, making it unachievable. That's the one thing, because it's very difficult to look as good as the models on the glossy magazines, considering that most of those pictures are not even real. They are touched up, and in the era of AI, they might not even be real. But what happens when you actually start focusing, as many different traditions focus on the movement within your body, you actually start tapping in the reason why you have your physical body. Why exercise, when combines with this essential component that I've been talking about all the time and I'm still talking about, awareness, makes a much more powerful combination that ultimately leads you to much better fulfillment and well-being on so many levels. Nicole, I walk and exercise daily. Recently, mobility work has been my favorite, as my body has previously been very painful from not taking care of myself for years when I was younger. So thank you, Nicole, for sharing that and for being vulnerable here and admitting that, because this is one of the things I want to address today. Whether our physical, based on everything that we know, our physical state is so important. It's so crucial to actually feel good and embrace the movement. But what I want to talk to you today about, that perhaps, and put it out for you, perhaps, only perhaps, once you bring awareness to movement, and it doesn't have to be anything strenuous, that becomes something so much more important and so much more empowering to you in your daily life. So Nicole, stay with us. Fun, walking, strength training, yoga, swimming. Sorry, I missed the comment from Parvana. Chasing my young cat as well every day. I think this is one of the. I know you intended as a joke, but to tell you the truth, for instance, it's very difficult for me to run just for the sake of running, because I'm very goal oriented in a sense. That's how it's a part of my character. So if I don't have an objective in moving towards something, it's very difficult for me. So you mentioned that chasing my young cat, that's actually a very good form of exercise, because it gives me a very specific purpose to, in your case, to catch your cat. And dancing around the living room on my own. Anne says, at my age, it's not about looks. It's about losing the movement I have. And this is another excellent example. I will talk about in a second. Gloria, I'm 70 and spend time in nature, but only am able to do chair yoga along with daily meditation. I agree. Whatever movement is great, and cherish that. Parvana, as a follow-up to her comment, he really makes me run all over the house. Otherwise, he catches up and bites me. That is so funny. Thank you for sharing that, Parvana. And for those of you who movement is limited, either through, sickness or poor health or age, whatever the reason is, let's face it, as we grow older, our movement remains or becomes different, maybe even limited. But one thing, and this is the big part of my thesis that I discovered to myself, reaching almost 50 years old and not being as able as I used to be, is not in how high you can jump, how fast you can run, how far you can walk, but it's something that you can continuously grow for the rest of your life. And this is how much awareness you bring into the movement that you do. How much awareness you bring into every move that you make. Science is very clear about it. It's not only about exercising and doing strength, and I know many coaches who try to convince you that doing the strength training and this and that is fundamentally the most important thing that help you do. I reckon that all those things, when done with purpose, like in case of Parvane, chasing the cat, is much more powerful motivation and inspiration to continue doing a movement. To give you an example, if your only motivation is, for instance, look better, right? And you go and spend, literally, you have to spend hours and hours every day for years in order to build a physique that is somewhat appealing. And indeed, clearly in our world, this is important. You will have the gratification by people maybe giving you a look, of admiration. But look comes and go. And those people, the passerbys, they come and go. And maybe that give you some form of success. But like I said, our bodies age. And there's no way of spending so many hours every day for the rest of your life in order to maintain similar physique. And I know the actors that we see on the screen try to prove us wrong, but I want to really bring us back and myself back to what I really try to achieve by moving my body. What is really purpose of my body? And I dare say, using Parvane's example, that chasing a cat, it's actually a fantastic motivation to stay fit. Much better motivation that build up your body, build muscles, or build up physique. Because when we understand, and this is something I discovered for myself, that your physical body is an instrument of expression of your awareness, you finally realize why it is so important to not only move your body, but take care of your body in that joyful way. It is first and foremost an instrument of expression of your life, of your awareness in this physical reality. Everybody came here with that instrument. And when you recognize that every move you take, done with awareness, I don't know, all of a sudden, even when I start talking about it, I started moving those Tai Chi movements that are so popular in Chinese culture. Clearly, in Chinese culture, they recognize that it's not about building your muscles. All the grandmothers and all the women standing in the parks and making gentle movements and kind of doing it very slowly, clearly they are not there to build the muscles. Although I'm sure they will maintain the muscles much better than most of the people that do these very strenuous exercises in the gym, very often damaging the muscles. Again, I'm not trying to say that a physical or weightlifting is bad. It's simply every form of movement becomes so much more powerful as expression of our awareness when done consciously. When done consciously. When you recognize that every movement of your body is, as a matter of fact, creative expression of your awareness. And that makes all the difference as compared to doing it mindlessly on autopilot. Because this is something I want to share with you. When movement is unconscious, you are simply surviving. Your body, by the way, does not need your presence in order to survive, to move, whether you want it. Even if you're very still, there's a tremendous amount of movement happening within your body that is related to the consciousness, kind of built-in consciousness that is part of you. Consciousness that you're unaware of. Your heart is beating, right? You cannot consciously stop your heart from beating. Your blood is circulating, the digestion happens. I studied biochemistry, and let me tell you how fascinating it is what happens on a moment-to-moment basis within each cell of your body. And you have around 30 billion of these cells. And each cell, it's like a very sophisticated factor of maybe 10,000 people that performs functions that are absolutely mind-blowing. And that happens within your body, whether you move your muscle, move your fingers, so to speak, or not. And most of us, unaware of it. Science, that's why I love science, because science makes me aware of certain things that happening with our body. This is one of the aspects of the scientific exploration. It's a chemistry, biology, physics. It gives me an insight of how marvelous this mechanism behind our body is. And one of the things I make in the points I make in the course, which quite frankly I find important, is we are so fascinated with the new edition of an iPhone or new technological advancements, sending rockets into space, building new cars, and so on and so forth. But hardly anyone understands that none of these discoveries, none of them, comes even close to the marvel that happens within each cell of your body. It does not come even close technologically to what happens within each cell of your body. You have trillion of them. And then those each cell only, it's a marvel as an individual cell and the movement that happens within it. This cell, it's a part of a tissue. That tissue may be part of an organ, and that organ is part of what you consider physical body. The functionality of it, the movement that happens physically, electrically, magnetically, biochemically, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And yet nobody pays attention to it. Maybe there's an expression, we allow to cut our hand off in exchange for the latest iPhone or I don't know, a plasma screen or a car, without realizing that at our disposal, moment to moment, is this marvel that is our body. That is the only thing. You need to use your thumb to control iPhone. But this is the only thing in existence that you can control with your mind. The only thing. I want to extend my arm. And by my mind, work of my mind awareness, I can extend it. I can snap my fingers. This is work of the mind. You have control over this bioengineering marvel that, quite frankly, we still understand how fully function. We only know bits and pieces from the scientific perspective. And we never pay attention to it. And what happens by that, when we don't pay attention, the movement within our body still happens. You still walk, you still get up, you still perform functions. But we missing a bigger part of the story. that your body and the movement that happens with your body, whether you exercise or not, sends an information and sends a feedback to you on a moment-to-moment basis. And that feedback is absolutely fundamental to your physical and by connection, mental and spiritual well-being. Because again, back to the initial thesis, your physical body is a tool of expression of your conscious awareness in the physical world. And when your body is failing, gives you usually signals. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm hurt. Continuously communicates with you. And when you are aware, you all of a sudden start receiving and processing the information that your body communicates with you and has been communicating with you always. And your body becomes an instrument, becomes a receiver, and becomes a transmitter of very important information that reflects your interaction with the physical world. And when you do that, what happens is you become very much aware of the illnesses in your body. To give you an example, I may have shared with you before. In the past, I hardly ever get sick, but I remember as a child, I was like everybody else. I was getting sick during the winter season and get the sniffles and get that disease. But when first thing that started for me, when I started meditating, I become aware much earlier because what happens within my body. For instance, my body sent me a message. Oh, I feel a bit low physically. I cannot play that well. I'm not that fast. What happens? My body sends me information that perhaps something happens within my body. Very often it's a virus that my immune system is battling. So rather than pushing through my exercise routine, or I consciously recognize that's what happens within my body, and I consciously choose, it's time to slow down. It's time to give my body to receive the message and rest more. Pay even more attention to my sleep routine. I will talk about sleep in the third session when we will talk about the third pillar of conscious living. And I hardly ever get sick. Hardly ever. And when I get sick, usually I can recover much faster. Much faster than people with the same condition. Not because I am exposed to less viruses or less bacteria, that I am somehow more careful about my environment, but I am very much in touch. And that's what I'm talking about. The movement I'm using awareness to connect with the movement that is already happening within my physical body to acquired information. How should I adapt my actions and my behavior in order to support this once again wonderful and unique tool of my conscious expression? And this is mostly because I treat my body as a wonderful, unique tool of the conscious expression of my awareness. Because that's what it is. And I learn to cherish it more through that understanding. Nicole says, I took holistic health class recently for 12 weeks. It was incredibly eye-opening for me. Thank you, Nicole. The eye-opening, as a matter of fact, this is the reason behind this session. Because everything I said so far, I dare say, it's more or less common sense. So it's not about me saying something new, but basically bringing and shedding the light of things that are already at your disposal, including your physical body in this very moment. This is the fascinating part. And this is the I wish, using Nicole's expression, open your eyes to what there is at your disposal in this very moment. And I want to assure you that in order to bring awareness to the marvel of all the movement that happens with your body, you don't have to be either fit or beautiful or have big muscles or be well exercised. That movement that happens within your body happens regardless of the state of your health. But what happens as a result, if you start paying attention in the way I invite you to right now, you will observe a dramatic change in the motivation towards doing things, including physical exercise. Because you realize, like in my case, I can give you an example. There have been times, quite frankly recently, when I've been treating my body with less care. I stopped being aware of the fact that my body is a physical expression of my awareness. So, I ate maybe not as healthily. I exercised maybe less, and then I went to play my favorite game of beach volleyball with friends on the beach. And very, very quickly, that happens usually very, very fast, I realized that because the way I treated that wonderful instrument, my body did not have full capacity of doing the things I want to do. Using Parvana's example, chasing the cat, and in my case, chasing the ball. I was not able to do it simply because for a moment I went into my mind and forgot about the fundamental communication I should maintain with my body on a daily basis. But every time I do, I receive a very important information. And again, that is not limited to hunger, thirst, sleep, rest. Although, even if you pay information to just these impulses, I think you will be better than most. Because let me ask you, do you sleep when your body is tired? Do you eat when you are hungry? Do you drink when you are thirsty? No, most of the time we doing these things because it's time to sleep. It's time to eat. I know maybe you've heard that hydrating your body is important, so you keep drinking whenever you remember. You completely ignore the signals that your body is designed on a fundamental level to do and to talk to you in that way about the thirst, about hunger, about rest, and so on and so forth. So even those fundamental signals, this fundamental information, most of the time is ignored by most of us. Think now to yourself, what would happen if you really start listening to that wonderful scientific instrument that is at your disposal? What kind of information you would discover? And most importantly, in what enormous effect that information would have on your well-being and how you feel and how you can express yourself creatively. Nicole, I've been doing the same and sometime put mindfulness meditation on it. Oh, Parvana said something. Recently, I have started taking photos of beautiful things and I see on my daily walks rather than audiobooks and podcasts. Nicole, I wasn't able to walk a simple hill 6 months ago because I had such a terrible sciatic pain. I can relate to sciatica. Yeah, I began mobility work 6 months ago, and recently, during a session of yoga, my back and hip realigned. I have had zero pain since. I've hiked climbed many hills this week. Yes, I certainly can relate to sciatic pain. Actually, I had an operation to remove a bulging disc in my root nerve that causes sciatica. So congratulations, Nicole. I'm glad that you were able to deal with it, because it's a terrible, terrible pain. And I know for Seth, you relate to that as well. Yes. Thank you, Nicole. A testament to listening and feeling to your body and feeling your body. Yes, I think many, Shireen, Pilates helped tremendously with my sciatica pain. Yes, the discussion of the body as an instrument really connects with my own thinking. Yeah, yeah. This is the reason, right? When you bring awareness to what happens within your body, all of the sudden, the information that you receive back is of such a tremendous use. We tend to, listen to the coaches, listen to teachers, including me, quite frankly, and just take on a face value something that, in terms of your physical body, is accessible to you as a tailored information right here, right now. People very often will ask, what exercise should I do in order to feel this way or that way or improve this or that? How many of you would consider asking your body that question first? How many? We are very prone to listening to people, particularly when they look good. Again, they present themselves well, or they look phenomenal. Their physique is great. They are looking aesthetically pleasing, and you want to get there by doing exactly the same thing what they do. But we have no idea what is the mental state. How much of what they say, it's a performance, because let's face it, performance is built in us. We're doing things because, intellectual level, we think they are a good thing to do, not because they're things that are aligned with our values, something that we've been talking about last week. But when you start aligning, and we coming back to awareness ultimately is your tool. Awareness that you are is the only tool that allow you precisely align yourself with who you are. And that is also related to your physical movement. To give you an example, if as a, 60-year-old start doing the same routine as a coach that is 30 years old, you cannot potentially do yourself anything good, because your physique is different, your body is different. And even if you are the same age and the same physique, still the fine-tuning of that instrument will be different, because you are uniquely beautiful yourself. You are not other person. One of the things I like saying that is very difficult for us to do these days, because we rely on coaches and on teachers and hardly ever on ourselves on that information. You have to be yourself, because everybody else is already taken. Be yourself, because everybody is already taken. And the part of being yourself is simply listening to yourself. And what does it mean that you listen to yourself? That you bring awareness, as we will do in meditation just a moment, to your physical body. And hear, perhaps for the first time, that information. And it is given that information that your body provides sometimes is not something that you're willing to do. Because for those of us who work 10, 12 hours a day, the information from your body that comes and says, oh, maybe it's time to rest, it will be widely ignored. Right? What do you mean, what rest? It's another 5 hours to go. Maybe it's time to sleep. What do you mean, I want to watch another movie or another episode of my favorite TV show? Ooh, it's time to exercise and move because you feel a bit stiff. No, but I want to, do what I started doing, and it's so comfortable on this couch. So let's start listening to our body and the movement that happens within it, and also start not only listening to the body, but implementing the information that your body trying to encourage you to do. Just implement it. Before we start meditating, Nicole, Thank you, Nicole. I have been so much happy too. I could imagine that you overcoming your sciatica, that's a tremendous improvement of your mental health. Yeah. Plus, you saved money and have been dealing with vertigo and have to focus on intentional movement to avoid falling. Mm-hmm. I know it's a vertigo. It's not a laughing stock, and it can be debilitating. But I always wonder the ability of our body and everything that happens around us to bring us back to awareness. It's almost like the universe conspires to bring us to awareness with everything that happens. Sometimes we consider those things obviously negative, but ultimately I found being more intentional about your movement and mindful about your movement a positive thing. And so I wonder. And for me, when I'm aware of the breath and physical activity, helps align my mind and body and start to notice the little things within and around me. Thank you, Anne. How many of you have been aware of your breathing in the past 24 hours? How many of you have taken a single conscious breath? And let me tell you, you have not stopped breathing since you were born, and you will not stop breathing until the last moment of your life. So something that is with you, it has been with you for all your life and will be for the rest of your life, it's widely ignored. And as Anne says, if you focus on this one simple, fundamental activity that happens within your body, has been always happening, how much information you can get out, how much you can learn, how much positive information get out of it and improve your well-being and health in every aspect of your life. There are entire methods and books and technologies based on that one simple activity of breathing that are designed to help us to improve our life based on what? On the most fundamental activity of our body, breathing in and breathing out. How interesting. And maybe this is the last thing before you start meditating I want to say. Bringing awareness to the movement within your body does not have to be complicated. And it is not complicated. All the information that you can get out of it can be encompassed, as Anne said, in single breath. But even if you don't focus on the breath, you focus on any sensation of your body, you will receive a feedback. And more than that, you will receive feedback that is of a beneficial nature to your well-being. Should you apply the information that you received? Because information is not enough. You need actions. Action is not enough. You need intention and purpose. So let's do that in today's meditation. Let us, for a short period of time, just to maybe, 5-10 minutes, pay attention to what is happening within our body and see what will come up for you during that time. See if perhaps right now, in this very moment, there's some sort of information stored there waiting for you to be received that will improve your current well-being. So, as I said at the beginning of the session, so you can emerge on the other side with a renewed sense of purpose and well-being. I always say that sentence at the beginning of our session because it's true. Let's see how this will work. And as always, I will play for you Peter Helland and his wonderful music to support our contemplation. I will switch to the meditation screen. Okay. Begin this meditation with your eyes open, aligning your body in the way that is more comfortable for you. And when I say comfortable, I mean in the way that is more aligned with your comfort. And comfort is a representation of the best configuration of your limbs to provide least resistance and most harmony. That's what we do. I found that for me, that means resting my feet on the floor, putting my hands in my lap, and sitting upright to allow my breath to flow freely. And look at yourself, so to speak. What is your position right now? I often find that by allowing my body to take a position of the greatest comfort, my posture becomes dignified. I like to use a metaphor of a king or a queen sitting on a throne, gently gazing at the subjects, smiling, content and happy. And only now I want to invite you to close your eyes and take the awareness that until now was focused on the physical senses. Take it within. And recognize what is the first thing that comes from your body to your awareness. Listen carefully. Listen with curiosity. Is there comfort? Or is there distress? Is there ease? Or is there tightness? Is there anything that you can adjust in your posture, in the position of your limbs, to more aligned with the needs of your body, so to speak? In this meditation, you will listen and you will respond to the needs of your physical body. Some of these needs can be fulfilled by simply adjusting your position. And some of those needs will have to wait to be fulfilled later. But the most important part is careful and curious listening. And along this line, allow yourself to follow your breath for a moment. This most fundamental expression of your physicality, bringing aliveness into your body every time you breathe in, and expelling all the product CO2 and gases that already play the function in the body. Recognize that breathing in and breathing out, it's a constant cycle of recharging and discharging, bringing in and letting go. And that is all part of the most fundamental function of your physical body. And this time, we observe this cycle joyfully, with curiosity. And perhaps again, asking the question if the breathing can be aligned better. Is there any obstacle in the way of the current flow of my breath? Maybe adjusting my posture. Maybe making myself more comfortable. So continue asking this question of, is there anything I can do to align more? Curious inquiry into the state of your physical body and on the information that your body keeps sending to you for your consideration. I'll be here by your side to hold the space, and I will bring you back when the time is up. And now, this time, to shift your awareness once again from the information that happens within your body towards your physical senses that connect you with the external physical world. Shift your awareness towards your vision, towards your hearing, very briefly, senses of smell and taste, and finally, sense of touch. That includes perception of the shape of your physical body and the space that surrounds it. Add the gentle physical movement by wiggling your toes, moving your fingers. Slow, conscious movement of your neck to the left, tilting your head towards left shoulder, feeling muscles in your neck flexing and stretching. Gentle move your ear towards the right shoulder, connecting with the muscles on the other side of your neck. Back to the center. And let us all together take one deep conscious breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And when ready, open your eyes and welcome back. Thank you for meditating with me. So what have you noticed during this meditation part? What have you learned? What was the one information that your body sent to you for your consideration? Please do type in comment sections, and as you do so, I will want to say that that initial alignment of your body that happens, sitting straight up, in whichever way, I always say, whichever way your body indicates for the optimal comfort. But as always, during the meditation, when you continue the inquiry into the state of your physical body, there's information coming. And the information coming for me, for instance, always is, interesting enough, after all these years, relax your jaw. Your jaw seems to be very tight. Something that I'm absolutely unaware during the day when I don't pay attention. And the first thing that comes to me when I start paying attention is, yes, relax your jaw and rest your tongue behind your two top teeth. It seems that I tense up the moment that awareness goes away. Parvana, my body fell asleep and woke up with the bell, but I felt it was hearing you. Again, this most fundamental information that your body needs rest is the information that for most of us is widely ignored. So I'm glad that you listen to it, Parvana, to listen to your body. D says, yeah, hard to drive in a car with this seat. Yes. Yeah. Seth, when I stop treating pain as an adversary, I experience a greater sense of comfort in my body. Thank you for sharing that, Seth. Yeah, I know this story. This is, quite frankly, dealing with pain, and Nicole said it already in her case of sciatica. Pain is one of the informational stimuli that your body provides that it's arguably the most difficult to deal with in a mindful way. But Jon Kabat-Zinn created an entire, widely known MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. This program is based on dealing with patients with chronic pain. So even pain has an information for us to receive, however painful it is, pun intended. So yeah, thank you so much, all of you, for meditating with me. Yeah, for Anne, the first message for me was release the jaw. For Gloria, for me, you're one of the most genuine, positive person inside time. I really love when I join here. 2 knee replacements, and I love my new knees. There you go, sending the love and energy to your new knees. Thank you to the modern technology. Thank you, Gloria, for your kind words. Also, I want to say, for those of you who joined a bit later, that this is the first out of 6 sessions that will be based on the course that I published many years ago. And this course is, now I'm kind of rediscovering what has changed for me over the years when I recorded this course. And rather than re-recording it, I decided to have a discussion with you here on Inside Timer and during live sessions. And the first session today was on movement as the first fundamental pillar of our living, and how we bringing awareness to the movement. So feel free to check this out. I know many of you here have already taken this course. Even if you don't want to take this course, look at what the 6 pillars are, and maybe read the intro. You can listen to it for free, to the intro, and you can read about the pillars for free. And for those of you with a subscription, you can listen to it as well. So next session, Nance asked, will the next session be at the same day, the same time? Exactly. So next Monday or Sunday, depends where you are, at the same place, the same time, I will be talking about the second pillar of conscious living, which is, scientifically speaking, nutrition, but on more broadly and more kind of lay way of saying that, what's the effect of what we put in our mouth has on our well-being, and we will continue the conversation. And I hope I will start thinking about what has changed since the beginning of when I recorded this course for the first time. What has changed in my how I treat my body in terms of what I put in my mouth. Thank you so much for your time, for your presence. I look forward to our next session. And like I said, in the meantime, go check, for those of you who haven't taken it yet, go and check it at least, and have a think about the second pillar, nutrition. And we can have a discussion. Feel free to actually bring questions. If you choose to join session next week, feel free to bring questions. We will put it out there and see what's going to come out. We have a wonderful community here that is full of first-hand experiences, and I'm sure you can compare the notes on the topic of nutrition and come up with something that, again, will enhance and improve our lives, so you can emerge on the other side with a renewed sense of purpose and physical well-being. So, yeah. Oh, Nance, you're recovering from concussion. Yeah, that's I hope this session was helpful then. It certainly relates to your physical well-being. Okay, once again, thank you so much. I will leave you with Peter Helen and his wonderful music. Have a wonderful day, pleasant night, wherever you are. And look forward to our next session next week, the same place, the same time. Until then.